All right, that was a great introduction, and completely agree with the statements previously made that vertebral augmentation is the top 3, if not top 1 procedure that we do in interventional pain. Patients are extremely satisfied. We are able to decrease probably one of the worst pain in medicine to almost no pain at all within a matter of a few minutes of proceeding with this intervention. So we'll show you a couple different ways to do this procedure, optimize the amount of cement within the vertebral body, and improve basically the outcome for this procedure. So first, who do we see for vertebral augmentation? So the vast majority of patients that will be passing through our door in pain clinics or in the hospital will be type A fracture, so basically A1, A2, A3, A4, which is a complete burst. Normally those will be type of cases that we will be discussing with spine surgeons, but the vast majority of patients will come after low energy trauma, so impaction fracture, so type A1. Sometimes those fractures may have split, so the A2 type, either sagittal or coronal, or a complete burst that, for the skilled practitioners, we can treat as well with either kyphoplasty or more and more with third-generation augmentation techniques such as spine jack. So we'll review that as well. Really to optimize the success of the technique, you want to inject more cement. So there's 3 numbers really that are important to remember to be able to optimize the outcome for patients, and that will be able to deliver the maximum pain relief and structural outcome for our patients. So if you calculate the volume of the vertebral body and you inject about 15% of the volume of the vertebral body, you'll be increasing the strength of the vertebral body. If you inject 25%, you will be maximizing the pain relief for this patient, and at 30%, you increase the stiffness of the vertebral body. So you'll be restoring the biomechanics of that vertebrae. But how much cement is that? So if you take a look at a L1 vertebral body, well, you're talking about 33 cc of volume of trabecular bone. So that means that you still would need to inject somewhere, 10, 11 cc within that vertebral body to optimize the outcome. And if you're looking at the L5 vertebral body, well, average volume is about 45 cc, so a third of that would be 15 cc. That's a full stack of cement. So just as a FYI, you do need to inject often a lot of cement to be able to restore the biomechanics and also improve income. If we can just come here at the head, there's different type of techniques that can be utilized to access the vertebral body. Often we know about the transpedicular approach. So you will have an AP. You start with an AP view of the C-arm.
Dr. Clerk, we can't see what you're doing. Can you write on where your tools are?
Oh, yeah, totally. That's gonna be. Oh, I think we just moved the camera, so we'll be able to continue at the head here. Just making sure that we have. Thank you for letting me know. Perfect, great. So for a transpedicular approach, you start with an AP position, so C-arm at 0 degrees. Another way to approach the vertebral body, you can use a parapedicular approach. So normally you will oblique at about 30 degrees oblique, or extrapedicular modified inferior end plate approach. So you'll be at the lumbar level about at 45 degrees. So for a transpedicular approach, you will be ducking the bone introducer somewhere between the 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock position on the contralateral pedicle between 1 and 3 o'clock. For a parapedicular approach, if you flip the C-arm 30 degrees oblique, this is basically your supraarticular process. This is your transverse process. This is your parapedicular space, right? So I like to split it into medial and lateral. So the medial parapedicular space and lateral parapedicular space. So if you duck right here, you'll be at the pedicosomatic junction, so right on the posterior wall. If you go a little bit more lateral, you'll be already past the posterior wall of the vertebral body. So this is an extremely fast way to access the vertebral body. You're away from the nerves, and you'll be right in the center of the vertebral body. So very easy access. You know, I would say probably most of my lumbar access are done with a parapedicular approach. For the purpose of the demonstration, we'll use a mixture of transpedicular and parapedicular approach today. And the extrapedicular modified inferior plate approach, you will start right here in the inferior corner of the vertebral body. So again, you are oblique at 45 degrees. This is your supraarticular process. This is your transverse process. And then it is a very nice avascular aneural space that you can access for larger implants to inject bone cement as well. So we'll be proceeding with 3 demonstrations today. Always a great pleasure to be here. Thanks for the faculty also to invite me. And what I appreciate is that I always tend to have more and more devices to show, but the same amount of time. So it is always a very sometimes challenging, but we'll get there within the next 15 minutes. So we'll start with a classic kyphoplasty approach. Picture here, picture here, picture. So I'll start about 2 centimeters, just lateral to the left pedicle here, picture. And then we'll be able to go on bone. So again, these are procedures that can be done under local with moderate sedation. These are very fast procedure. We're talking less than 5 minutes, right? Picture here. Picture. And again, as we discussed a couple of times, we just don't want to breach the medial wall of the pedicle with a transpedicular approach, just like what we just demonstrated. So we'll go lateral here. We'll take a look at our depth. I used a bevel introducer, so especially for the transpedicular access, it is great because it provides more flexibility. So if we are too posterior, perfect. So we can flip it and redirect as needed. Picture here. Okay. So what I did, basically, I flipped the bevel 180 degrees, and we should be getting very close. So we can just go back AP just to confirm that we are, we still have some margin with the medial wall of the pedicle. And we do. Perfect. We can go back lateral here. And we'll, yeah, lateral, and we'll be able to so we should be right in the center of the vertebral body. Picture here. Perfect. So we pass the posterior wall. Now I will turn again 180 degrees, so the bevel going more aggressively within the medial portion of the vertebral body. I'll also use a bit more pulling to be able to really medialize the perfect. And we're just exactly where we want. So we can go back AP just to show we should be either at midline or even a little bit cross over the contralateral side. So very good position here. What we'll do, perfect. So right in the midline here. So I'll grab the Kyphoplasty balloon. So this is a low compliance balloon from IZI. which is nice because we can reuse it as needed. And then position, and then we'll go lateral here. And I think there was a comment this morning that, work closely with your technologist. So we have Anthony here. Thank you so much for doing this back and forth EP lateral. Kyphoplasty and vertebral augmentation is a lot of AP lateral, AP lateral. And once you get familiar with your technologist, basically they know exactly what to do and when to do it. So now we'll be inflating the balloon. Picture. 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 And that looks fantastic. We can show what it looks like on the AP view there. It should be nicely filled in right in the center of the vertebral body. And now we're prepping some cement here. That's great. Yeah, so right now they're prepping the bone fillers. So this is a special cement. This is a cement that is called, while they get this ready, the cement is called Vertifix HV. It is a cement that has interesting characteristic that is a little bit different from other acrylic type cement. It contains inside tracking beads. So basically, rather than having a very homogeneous barium sulfate mixed with the PMMA, you're going to have some tracking beads that contain the barium and the contrast. So it is much easier to see the flow within the vertebral body if you're within a lumbar vein, whenever that you have a little bit of extravasation within the paraspinal soft tissues. So much easier to know when to stop. And the other thing also, whenever you use a bipedicular approach, so on the other side, one of the problem with homogeneous cement is that when you're on your lateral with the second pedicular axis, often you have a complete shadow of the cement amount. So basically that allows you to see through the cement that you already injected. So we're gonna deflate the balloon here, picture. All right, and now we have the bone filler. So what we'll do, we'll go lateral. And we'll be able to see that cement. Okay, picture. That should be nicely filling the cavity. Picture. Yeah, I think with the bone fillers, it would have taken just a little bit too long, so now they are giving me picture here. The other delivery device that they have, which is a gun that you can nicely, and you can see that the cement, you can see through the cement. There is some heterogeneity, very nice. All right, so we're going to see a nice feel here throughout the vertebral body, and now normally in a live patient you would see a nice flow as well. So now you picture, you could see the vascular flow within the vertebral body. Picture. Yeah. So right now, so this is a cement also that is. You have 18 cc of cement. We can go AP just to show the result. We can go back AP just to show the result here. 18 cc of cement, working time of about 18 minutes. So excellent fill right there. So this is for the Vertifix HV and the Kyphoplasty system from IZI.